Hi, and welcome back. In psychology, the highest level of psychological development is considered to be self actualization. And I believe Abraham Maslow came up with that first. There's this pyramid of needs. You have to satisfy your bodily needs first, then you have your egoic needs, and then you get to self realization. Now, this is a lot connected to spiritual growth and development. Some people call it that, some people call it self actualization, self realization, right? When you're starting to dig through the layers of who you aren't to find who you really are. Now, if you believe you know who you really are, then you probably start to make some changes. Now, how do you know you're there? You're the only one who can make that judgment. But you see, if your identification with who you are hasn't changed, just in 111. So if your identification with who you've been all your life hasn't changed to some degree, then you haven't really found yourself yet. You may be on the way, but you're not there yet. And why do I say that? Because you are a bundle of experiences impressed upon you by society. You are formed of cultural norms and conditions. You are full of conditionings. And part of self actualization, part of self realization, is looking at what forms you, your beliefs, and your conditionings, and stripping that down to find the real you. And, the real you turns out is not exactly what you thought you were. It's not exactly who you thought you were. You change as you begin to understand what forms you, what builds you up, and who you're not. There's this beautiful quote saying, "Step into the fire of self-discovery and do not be afraid, because it will only burn what you are not." We are afraid of investigating and digging into who we are. But that fear is totally unfounded. It's an egoic fear, because the ego knows that once you start digging, you will find who you really are. and who you really are is a bit different than who you think you are now. But if you've reached that point where you're starting to make sense of it, after a while, you start to realize you're living your life inauthentically. It's not associated, it's not aligned to who you are, and it's not aligned to what you're meant to be doing in this world. Now, this is not for everyone. And if it's not for you, and if it doesn't resonate, take it as it is. But if you're there, if you feel like you're close, if what I'm telling you makes sense at some level to you, then know that it will force changes to happen within you. And it's only normal. You haven't been living in an authentic way. I'm here to tell you not to be afraid of making bold changes in your life. Everything and everyone will be against you making changes in your life, because everyone is used to the old you. This is happening. This is happening to everyone who walks this path. I'm almost sure, but I'm sure of that. It's definitely happening to me. And I can speak for myself, and I can speak my truth. That's what I'm speaking to you here. So once you're there, you may want to make changes. Do not be afraid. You have found the real you. There's nothing to be afraid. You just live authentically, at peace, in love, just joyful to be alive, completely free from all the fear, anxiety, worry, self-doubt, lack of self-belief. You'll know when you get there. And when you do, the changes will start to resonate with you. And when they do, go for it. Step into that unknown. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where the real life is. Not within the confines of who you were and everybody else's vision of who you were and the conditionings that have been impressed upon you all your life. Boldly step into that unknown. Boldly make those changes that align with yourself and with who you really think you are. I'll see you on the other side. Stay peaceful and loving. See you next time.